Hey scrapbookers and crafters, this is Michelle at michellesizemore.com. That has one L in my first name in my website link if you're looking for me. I'm a Creative Memories advisor, and today you'll learn how to make this two-page layout using our new 2025 Spring Soiree collection from Creative Memories. All right, let's get started. I'm going to show you what all I used. This is a Power Project sleeve, and it's my holding place for things for my project. It's open at the top and the side, so it just gives you an easy place to keep things separate and to pull it out easily. Set that aside and use it for another project. Okay, I use these two cards from the Spring Soiree collection. I made these two borders, and I will show you how to do that with the border maker system. And I used this sticker strip. These are the white cardstocks for the borders. I used our white ruled paper, and I used this sticker strip and these papers. I think I only needed one of the green, but I pulled out two. So that's everything that I used. All of that from Spring Soiree, except for this is sold separately and our white cardstock is sold separately. Or you can buy it from me separately. All right. Let's get started. So we're going to start by cutting the green paper. The purple paper is going to be our base paper, and we're going to mount everything on top of that. So I'm going to measure this to see, and I believe I cut it right at 5 inches. So I'm going to grab my regular 12-inch trimmer, and I'm going to open up the arm to the trimmer and make sure my little foot right here is flipped out, and that helps the trimmer to stay level on my table and gives me extra measuring space. But honestly, I don't really need that extra measuring space, so I didn't have to pull that out, but I need to measure it at 5 inches. So I'm going to line my paper up right here at this 5-inch mark and follow that line all the way down. Just make sure it's straight. It's actually right to the left of that line, actually. Nope, it's on that line. Okay, and just make sure it's straight at the top. Close it. Make sure my straight blade is in here, and it is. And then I'm just going to cut. And then I'm going to move it over because I need 2 pieces just like this and do another one. Okay, and I would save this because that would be the perfect size to make a scrapbook border. Okay, so I'll set this aside, and the next thing I want to do is cut my scallop border. This is called Mirrored Scallops, is this border maker cartridge. So I'm going to grab my cardstock. I'm just going to cut one of these to show you since I've already pre-cut them. Then I'm going to get the border maker system and take out the cartridge that's in here just by pushing this button and pushing it slightly out. And that is the right cartridge. I just wanted to show you how to pull it out. So you put your cartridge back in. You want these 2 metal pieces to be sticking out. And then you can see the design that it's going to cut. I'm going to open up my paper tray, put my cardstock in, and line it up at all the edges of the tray. It's kind of raised a little bit so it all fits in there. Close the magnetic arm, flip the tray underneath, pop it in place, and now you're ready to cut. I always start closest to me, put my cardstock right here, match my notches up here. There's a blue and a white notch. When they match, everything falls into place because it's like two little pieces fit into grooves so that they match up. So we're going to punch, pull it out slightly, plop it back in place, notches match up, and punch. And just do that all the way down. You will just feel it plop back into place. Okay, so that's how you get your 12-inch mirrored scallops. Okay, I'm going to move all my scraps. I'm going to, throw them in the bin down here. And I like having a kind of a rectangle plastic bin down here so that I can just scoop things off into. And I've got a little adhesive stuck to my table, which I don't like, but I can deal with that later. I have a little rubber pickup square that you can get from Creative Memories that really helps to get that up. Okay, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I get distracted with trying to clean. Okay, so here are my 2 green pieces. Here are my 2, let's see. Here are my 2 border pieces. Here are my 2 base pieces. So we're going to start by, let's lay out these base pieces. 2-page layout here, so it's going to be mirror images of each other. I need to grab my repositionable tape runner and just put some dabs at every corner and just a little bit here, there, and everywhere. Mount this down on the left-hand side of the left-hand page. Press it down to make it stick and do the same thing over here. I like both the sides of this paper. It's so pretty. And mount this on the other side so we just have mirror images of each other. And I forgot to look at this paper. Really, this purple paper looks like it should go this way with the little flowers going up. The green paper is not really directional, so I'm going to flip it and do it this way. So there we go. And I'm going to grab my silicone mat and put my tape runner on the back of my border pieces. And let me look at these. Make sure I didn't make any mistakes that I need to trim off. Yeah, right here, there's some little edges that need to be trimmed. I'm gonna grab my micro scissors and just trim those up just a little bit. Just has a couple of stray pieces on there. Okay, and now I'm going to put my repositionable tape runner on the back. And this is a great example of why I love this repositionable tape runner. All these little intricate pieces, since this comes out in clear dots, you don't end up with little white pieces sticking out past that you can see, or wet glue. This is just great because it only sticks to where it needs to go. And because I'm on a silicone mat, everything else stays in here and just rolls back up in there, and it's not messy at all. I love it. So I'm going to put this down here. And just, let's look at this. I wanted it so the green shows through these little holes. So I'm going to mount that just on the edge, but still to where the green will show through. I think it looks nice that way. Okay. And I'll do that over here as well. Let's make sure this one looks good. It does. I think I already checked that. So put some tape runner on the back here. I'm pretty generous with this because I want to hit all those little tiny intricate little pieces. And again, I want to make sure that the green shows through those holes, but just barely. Okay, I'm good with that. So that is pretty much all the work right there. And then I'm going to crop my photos to fit. And I have some pretend photos here. And I'll just show you how I crop my photos. I use my personal trimmer for the photos. Actually, it's called a photo trimmer now. We changed the name. So these are 6x4 already. So if you already have 4x6 photos, you don't need to crop those at all. These are 3.5 by 5.5. All the other ones. So I'll show you how to crop those. We're going to go to, since this is the long side, we're going to go to 5.5 here. And y'all, I really need to clean this. I've got a lot of adhesive on here. It's almost embarrassing to look at. I should have cleaned it before this video, but here we go. 5.5. Make sure. Yep, 5.5. So there's the 5 inch, there's the 1/2 inch. So 5.5. I'm going to line it up there. Make sure it's straight at the top and cut that off. And then I need to cut a 1/2 inch off of this side. So I'm going to go to 3.5 right here. and cut. And that's how you crop your photos. And you want to put, once you put your, let's do one more and I'll explain a little better. So we're going to go to 5.5 on this side, 5.5, lined it up. It's straight down here. It's straight up here. I'm going to put my finger down on this plastic piece to press down, but do not put your finger over here because that blade is very sharp. So just hold your finger here to keep your photo in place and cut like that, okay? So this is our new photo trimmer, and I love how this trimmer and our other trimmer, they stack on top of each other, and they're perfect to organize in our new trimmer bag because the way this one nests on top, then you can just slide both of them in the new trimmer bag. And then the trimmer bag has a strap on the back so that it will fit on the handle of like a rolling cart. It is just, I love how we store things and how we carry things with Creative Memories. They make the perfect organizers. And then underneath is a place to store your 2 pairs of scissors. All right, okay, I'm going to set all this aside. Okay, and pretty much the rest, I'm just going to kind of talk you through. Well, I do want to cut these mats. So the only other decoration I used were these 2 mats. That's from the Variety Mat Pack. And I added stickers here and here, but I did cut down the mats to make them fit. And I'll show you how I did that. Here they are. So I wrote on the back here, let's do this one first. So you can see if I kept it like it is, it would be too big and it would cover up my decoration, which is, I mean, not terrible, but I really liked not doing that. So I drew my pencil line marks here to show me where to cut so that it would fit correctly. And it ended up being to where I cut about 1/4 of an inch off of each side and 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. So let's grab this trimmer. And 1/4 of an inch is that line right there. So I'm going to line it up there. Well, no, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Hang on a sec. Let's measure this. It's more like 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to line it up where my pencil mark. Honestly, the best way to do this is to draw your pencil lines when you're trying to be exact and just go by your pencil lines, and then you don't really have to measure. So I'm going to line that pencil line up with this left-hand side dotted line here because that is where your blade comes down. You're always looking at that left-hand side dotted line for where to cut. So that's where I'm going to put that pencil mark. And I'm going to do the same with this one. But now this pencil mark is up here at the top. So I'm going to look here on the left-hand side dotted line. Okay. And then I drew a pencil line down here where I wanted it to cut. So this pencil line matches up with that left-hand side dotted line right there. Okay. So now that's how I got that. And then how I got this, I did the same thing. I kind of drew my pencil lines based on how much space I had and drew them there and there. And so I'm just going to line that pencil line up with my left-hand side dotted line. I want to make sure I don't cut any of the white part off. Line that up with my left-hand side dotted line. And I want to cut these flowers off. So I want to just go slightly above those flowers. Now I drew my pencil line right here, and it matches up with this left-hand side dotted line. But I want to do something. I want to grab this little clear thing right here because I want to make sure I don't cut off any of these flowers. And this little clear thing has a black line right in the middle, and if you run it down, it's going to show you exactly where it's going to cut. and it looks great. Like it's not going to cut off any flowers, but I want to come up down just a little bit more because it's a little bit closer than I want it to be. I mean, I just barely moved it like a smidge. Okay, so I cut all those flowers off, and then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to cut it up here to make it about even where it's on top of this thing where there's about as much space as there is here. And I kind of want to draw a line just to make sure, like I want it to be about right there. So I'm going to line that up. And let's look at it. Yeah, that's good. I'm using my little guide with the line in it. It's not going to cut any of this white part off. So that's how I got that. And then I just added a couple of stickers. I added this sticker right here, these tulips, and put them down here. And there's a little daisy. This daisy right here I put right there. So that's how I did that 2-page layout. It's really easy to do, and I really like it. So let's get one more look at it. Oh, and I didn't tell you about this. I did cut my white ruled paper, and I just cut it with the 12-inch trimmer like I did the other pieces. So I just show you what size I cut it to. It is cut to 6 inches wide by about 2 3/4 inches tall. And I wrote on it with a black Creative Memories pen, and I used the fine tip side. Our pens have a fine tip side and a round tip side, and I chose the fine tip side. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you like this collection. Again, it's called Springtime Soiree, I think. It's Spring something Soiree, but I really like it. I think it's really pretty. And it would be pretty for little girls too, or just any kind of spring. It would be pretty with Easter eggs. I just really like it. Thanks for watching my video. Have a wonderful day.